Bradley, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I hope that no one can hear my dog huffing and puffing. Our dog.
Our dog.
Our dog. Huffing and puffing in the background. Lewis, if you see video, is sitting on Bradley's lap. And,
Was sitting on Bradley's lap.
dude, he's a menace to society, actually.
Oh.
Don't
He's going
move
to
the
the
camera. Okay, he moved it a little. Actually, he fixed the
He's our
center.
cameraman.
He's our cameraman. He's our cameraman.
He did a good job.
For those who don't know, which will probably be not a lot of people, most of the people I've shared this podcast with are my friends. But for those who don't know, Bradley, introduce yourself.
I was not prepared for this.
Okay, do you want me to introduce you then?
Here, how about you introduce me? If I don't like it, I'll do it again.
Okay. This is Bradley. Bradley is my husband. We got married at some point, and it's been 3 years, and it's 2025, which means we got married in 2022. That was math.
Mhm.
And he is an engineer. He is a pet parent to Lewis and Max. But most of all, he's a really cool guy.
Well, that was very exciting, and it makes me sound very nice.
What do you want me to say? That
Sounds good. No, that's
your
good.
voice got high?
And it sounded really good. Yeah.
I feel like I left out some core components. Oh, Max is on the move. Maxwell,
Maxwell.
I have tennis balls in my pocket so that way we can
Distract.
distract it. Go on.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fine. I am a mechanical engineer. I work in the mechanical engineering field, I guess, soon. Hopefully, very exciting.
Just got a transfer promotion. It kind of feels like both.
A little bit of both. Very exciting to start that. Very interested in things like aerospace and that kind of stuff.
I guess I
And
should
video
have.
games.
Yes, I was just thinking video
Sports
games.
and video games. Yeah.
Because I was thinking I should have expanded more on your personality and why the topic is, pop culture and why you're my
Yes.
guest for pop culture. Because you really like music, movies, video games, just things relating to creation from like a storytelling standpoint. Is that fair to say?
That is, I think, 100% fair to say.
That's just background for people so that they know
Yes.
the context of this. Specifically, like what I wanted to do on this episode was talk about some albums, some songs that we've seen come out recently and ones that are coming out and our feelings about them. Because I feel like in our friend group specifically, or maybe just okay, let's limit it to our friend group. But I feel like in our friend group, we have some hot takes on music that most people do not agree with. And so
Yeah.
when we chat about music, we're like right there with each other and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah,
So-
it's kind of crazy how in sync we are, not the band, but how in sync you and me.
Yeah.
But sometimes our friends will ask them how they feel about things, and it's almost a complete 180 versus what we think.
I just think our friends have garbage opinions on music.
Now that is a hot take.
Just kidding. No, they have fine taste in music,
Yeah,
but it's
they have
the
the
deeper.
taste of a simpleton.
Okay.
Those who are uneducated.
Okay. Okay. No, not that.
Shout out to the B roll of this podcast.
Facts. Some things will be edited out. Okay, so this whole thing started in my mind because I wanted to wait a couple more episodes to bring you on just to improve quality, and then I got real with myself and said quality's not going to improve.
Yeah.
So, The Contract by 21 Pilots recently dropped, and we
Yes.
were excited to say the least, right?
Yeah.
I know you don't have an Instagram,
Nope.
but I have been seeing their countdown on their Instagram stories. So they would share snippets of the song and like 6 days to go, 5 days to go. And I was super excited. It drops. I see it on Spotify. I kind of forgot the day that it was going to drop. And then there it went. You didn't even know it was dropping.
I did not know.
I told you about it.
Well, you told me about it. So the way I got introduced to it, I listen to 21 Pilots quite a bit. It's on my constant rotation of different playlists. But when I come home from work, that's when I listen to music on my drive home. And I saw that they put out a new song, and I had no idea it was dropping. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to this right now. And then on my drive home, I listened to it. I queued it up, and I listened to it.
We're like waiting to build our opinion because in terms of 1 to 10, it was like a 6. Is that too harsh? It was like a 7.
I think that depends on what your scale is. Like 1 to 10, right? Where does each thing land? Like if 5 is what you would consider an average song,
Okay.
then I don't think 6 is too harsh at all.
Okay, this is getting too technical for me. Okay, on a scale from Friday by Rebecca Black to 21 Pilots' most recent album, Clancy, which I think is a phenomenal album,
Yes.
where does this land?
I would say it lands basically smack dab in the middle. You know, I'd say it's like average.
In terms of pop genre.
Yeah, and just in terms of like their catalog, I think that if you were to give anyone this song and tell them to choose between this and their entire catalog, this is probably somewhere in the very middle of the list.
It wouldn't be one of their lesser liked songs.
Maybe.
Okay, I will say I was wanting to listen to it today. So I didn't initially like it, and I told you I didn't like it. But what happens is I don't like a song, and then usually it grows on me enough because I like the artist enough,
Yeah.
and I can see the I don't know, the quality of the song, or kind of maybe the production quality and how I like it.
Yeah.
So I've slowly kind of come around to it. My issue, right, is I think how the contract got to be released, and I have looked zero into this, so I'm
Yeah.
actually making this up, but is that their demo track of Doubt got released and people like loved it, which was weird to me because I didn't think it was that great. I like the Doubt that came out, the actual released one. When did it get released?
Oh, I have no idea. It was during their what's that album called? It was really popular in like 2016. So I guess roughly around that time. I was still in high school at the time, which is crazy. Blurry Face. That's the album that it's on.
Yes. And that's a great album. They have so many great albums.
They do have a lot of great, So I take it back. When I said it's going to be smack dab in the middle, that's a lie. They have so many good songs. It's probably going to be towards the bottom end of their catalog.
That's what I was saying.
Which is a fair statement.
That's
A
what
fair
I'm
statement.
saying. So basically, their last album, Clancy, the contract is going to be a continuation of that. There's going to be I think a couple more songs released, maybe like a mini album or another album. Something's happening where they've added more tour stops, and the tour is now called, I think, Clancy Returns, or like Clancy the continuation. Like some part of it is branching off, and they're doing a couple more shows, not nearly the amount of world tour stops that they had, but they're still continuing on. But when they dropped the contract, it made me a little less excited to go see them the second time. And actually, I meant to buy their tickets today, but I found out that the tickets went live yesterday. And so all the like seats that were affordably priced but still close to the stage, gone. Swept up, got taken. And so we could do lawn seating, but then I was like, you know what? They might be popular enough to where they change stadiums and they get a bigger venue potentially. That's what happened to the Jonas Brothers, but in reverse. They were at one stadium, Globe Life Field, and then I don't think there were enough people to buy the tickets, and so they went to a smaller venue, Dos Equis Pavilion. I feel like the opposite could happen with 21 Pilots, where they have so much interest that they could switch venues. Now,
Potentially, but this is the second touring of the same album with just a little bit extra. So
but I think they might be switching up a smidge.
probably, I will say we went to the first tour of this album and it was fantastic, phenomenal. Definitely worth a second time. I mean, we almost traveled to go see the second one. Would have been nuts if we did. But
we were considering going to Europe to see their Clancy tour again.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been on a honeymoon since we got married, and we were like, we need to go on a trip. Instead, we went to New York City with friends, and it was super fun and amazing. And actually, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh, yeah.
It was so great to be there. But for a while, we were like, us two go to Europe and see them again for the final stops of their tour.
Yeah.
Which sounds irrational, but if you were there, I feel like it's not irrational.
Well, if you're only traveling for the concert, I think it's irrational.
Okay.
But
we were going to do
it
other
was going to
stuff.
do a lot of things. The concert was just one stop along the way. With that in context, it's not like irrational at all.
Yeah, but it was so freaking good.
It was great.
And that concert actually was so fun because we were up in the rafters. I get the cheapest seats in the house usually. That is my bread and butter. That is what is in my cart at checkout. But this one, we were up way at the top row, like literally last row. This guy in a suit comes up to us.
Yeah, the weird sketchy guy at first.
You weren't. No, I didn't think he was
sketched out.
weird. You were sketched out, but I was like, if he scams us, we're already in the venue. We're just gonna go right back to our seats. So he comes up in his nice suit, kind of weird I don't think he was weird, but he comes up to our seat and he's like, "Hey, would you guys like to be moved closer to the stage?" I looked at Bradley, but I immediately said yes. Like Bradley, I was gonna take him down with me and we were gonna figure it out. And then we were like, what, 50 feet from the stage?
Yeah, we were so close. And the only reason that he did that is because, it was like essentially we didn't have like a front facing view of the stage. So it wasn't like perpendicular.
Yeah, we were on the side.
It was like a tangent view, which is fine. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We were probably, like you said, 30 to 50 feet away from Josh Dunn, the drummer from 21 Pilots.
And you could see them coming out in the crowd, and like we were very
Oh, it
close
was
to them,
awesome.
and just the production quality was unparalleled. It was unreal. And so that's why I really wanted to go see them again. And then the
100%.
contract came out, and then they're going to Dos Equis, so it's a smaller venue. So I don't think they can do, as much as they did within the arena. I guess it's not an arena. Is it an arena?
We went to I forget the
where
name of
Mavs
the arena.
play.
That's where the Mavericks play the Stars. Shoot.
Right?
I'm drawing a blank on it.
One
But
of
yeah.
us gets $1. The first one who thinks of it. Neither of us is getting $1.
Crickets.
It's gonna upset me that I can't think of American Airlines Center.
There you go.
You owe me all the money, $500.
You literally said $1.
Okay, there's a markup.
Wow, that's insane. That is insane. That's not even a 500% increase.
That's capitalism.
That is way more. Yeah. So I'll give you your $1.
Thank you.
My little princess.
Thank you. All that to say, lawn tickets for 21 Pilots were $70. I had the tickets in my cart, and then I was texting some gal pals, and I said, "Do you think we should wait until resale, and then maybe try and get ones closer to the stage in actual seats?" And they said yes. They were willing to pay more money, and so I said, "Sounds good. I will hold off." And I have it in my calendar to check back in around like maybe end of July, early August to see maybe what pops up, because they're still really hot tickets right now.
Yeah,
So
well, I'm sure.
I didn't want to receive for the biscuit, but you would still be interested in going to them, right?
Of course. I mean, we're gonna bring friends this time. I think we're gonna really encourage our friends to go with us. So it'll just be a giant party, like jam-packed, music blaring, people dancing. The contract comes up and no one starts dancing anymore. Just kidding.
It's a bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh.
I think it'll grow on me enough by then to where I'll maybe sing along or something.
Yeah. Why do you think it was not their best song? What about it specifically?
Going back to the Doubt demo, the Doubt demo is some of their earliest release, so they don't have as much producing experience and just releasing songs in general. So it sounds not as polished, or maybe it just sounds very SoundCloud rapper. I don't know. That's maybe too.
Well, the auto-tune is quite heavy in what do they call it? The chorus?
Yeah.
Is that where it is?
In the contract
In the contract.
Yeah.
I think that the use of autotune there. I mean, I'm not a musician. I do think that the use of autotune is almost unneeded for the majority of that portion of the song.
Yeah. So I think that they saw the success that came with releasing the demo version of Doubt, and they were like, "Oh, people like this." But I'm really hoping that they're not going more in a electropop synth. I don't know what the word is. I hope they're not kind of going to more EDM direction.
I agree. I think that on the Clancy album, the Paladin Straight, I believe, has a little bit of synth. During their concert, they brought out a synth, I think, right?
Yes, and to be fair, like during their concert, they're doing multiple things, and I don't really care if they're using like auto tune. Then honestly, they were singing live, but when they manipulate their voices and they use different instruments and different backtracks, I feel like it adds to the overall ambiance experience.
Yeah, the use of the synth there, at least at the concert, was very cool because it was like an accent mark. It was like a feature. It wasn't the main piece.
Sure.
Whereas when it comes to the contract, it feels like the electropop aspect takes over, and it's not like they're unfamiliar with it. It just isn't what I would really want to highlight in a song like that. I think that a really good example of people choosing their music, 21 Pilots specifically, would be The Line, right? The Line
from Arcane.
That's the Arcane Season 2. The Line is just phenomenal, really great. Probably not like their top 5 songs of all time, but still a really great addition to their discography. If you were to tell me that the contract came right after the release of The Line, I would say that doesn't seem right. It
Right.
seems like they kind of either regressed or like are trying a new sound that doesn't really follow what they have been doing.
Like the breadcrumbs that they've been leaving,
Mhm.
honestly. If there's a continuation of Clancy,
Mhm.
it in my mind, it wouldn't be the contract.
Yeah, I mean the contract is interesting. The story it's telling, the lyrics, like they talk about there's a necromancer outside, so they still have like these dark undertones, which they've continued throughout a lot of their music, specifically Blurryface and Trench, and now Clancy. But it almost felt like at odds in a way with like the electronic vibes that it was giving.
Yeah, it seemed more like dance club, but
But like sad dance club.
sad dance club. So honestly, though, I'm excited to hear more of
Mhm.
their music. I like them. I feel like I liked them very much more after we went to the concert. I bought those tickets so that you could go to more concerts and that we could have
Yes.
more concert experiences. And then I left being like, oh, I have a new favorite artist. They were on my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year because I was listening to them so much after the
Mm.
concert. So
Yeah, we went to that concert in September, so you only had like 3 months before Spotify Wrapped takes your,
data,
accumulations.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, you liked them,
yeah.
which is fair. 21 Pilots is awesome. I still think they're fantastic, even after the contract, obviously.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next, even though this last outing wasn't, in my opinion, their best showing.
So true. Another album that's coming out soon is Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter.
Not Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Stop. She should have done that. She should have a song called Clifford on the album. That'd be amazing.
She might. I mean, it's just
What if
niche enough of a reference that I think that should be like, oh, that's perfect for my thing.
What if it's just famous dogs like Beethoven, Marmaduke, Clifford, and that's the the titles of all the songs?
I think that'd be really unique. I don't think that she would do that,
No, she wouldn't.
given like her MO on
Given
stuff.
that it's too cheeky. It's too
Yeah.
cheesy.
Well, I don't think it's too cheesy. I think it's too thematic. And
Thematic.
yeah, because I think that, keeping everything as a dog's, but also with her more sexually expressive vibe, I don't think that would. I don't think it would work well for her. I don't think it would give the message that she wants to give. And then,
It would give ruining my childhood instead of like pop girl go off.
yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay. So
Have any songs been released on that album yet?
man child.
Man, oh, I'd almost listened to that. I was on Spotify
Okay.
and I saw like new release, and I saw this like the cover art for it, which is her and like Daisy Dukes, something like that.
In the desert.
in
or
the desert.
something, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, so I did like a double take, and then I saw it was called Man Child from Sabrina, and I was like, maybe I'll save that for a different day.
Save that for a rain. What made you not want to click on it?
I just wasn't in the mood for that. I mean, when I'm at work, normally I listen to either rap, 21 Pilots, or like a little bit of metal sometimes, and it just is not the vibe for like Juno from
From Short and Sweet.
from Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter.
It's so funny.
So it just isn't normally what I listen to at work.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It got released, and I'm excited about it. That's an album I'm looking forward to. But we both didn't really like Short and Sweet. We both listened to Short and Sweet, all the songs actually, because I bought tickets before the album got released because I thought it was gonna pop off. I thought it was gonna be very wildly popular, and then her ticket prices to her concerts were gonna go up exponentially afterwards. And that's exactly what happened. I'm the best. I'm super smart.
Insane.
You did not go to the concert with me because you're like, I'm okay with it. So my friend Lainey went instead.
Well, I don't think like I would have just enjoyed the concert. Like it would have been like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, no,
And
I had a friend
other
that was
people
like,
who
yes,
were like,
wanna
I
go.
want to go.
Mhm.
If you have a ticket, I want to go. I just wasn't in the same boat. I will say, I think that you're very smart when you said it was gonna, pop off. Espresso had come out for like 2 weeks at that point.
Song of the summer. I think it became the song of
Really?
the summer. Yeah.
So there's that one. Please, please, please. Like
Mhm.
all these viral songs that she released at the time were just going off.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a lot of expectations on her album, and somehow people think that she met them.
We both think that, dude. It's just like it's fun, it's cheeky, it's pop, it's upbeat, it is just an overhyped thirst trap, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I just can't believe like her album before that,
Emails I can't send.
emails I can't
So
send.
good.
It was pretty cheeky. There's a lot of like
Nonsense and Feather were on there, and they were
yeah,
also viral, but they were like cheek and tongue, like clever and witty,
yeah,
and they were intermingled with, I think, other deeper songs, which is
yeah.
cool.
But
I liked
also
it.
like the amount of emphasis put on like sexualness didn't seem to be overbearing in that one, at least from my experience with it. Like Nonsense was really fun, but it was like kind of lighthearted.
Mhm.
And then you get to Short and Sweet, and it feels like she is just like the horniest woman on the internet. She literally says, "I'm so effing horny." Was it in Juno? She
It
says that.
was, I think it's in Juno, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's
Um.
those viral, you're not on social, but like the viral Juno position. So every
Yeah.
time she performs Juno on stage, she does a different position. And honestly, the compilation videos are funny. Like she's just really funny with them, but
Yeah.
it is more, it skews in a certain way.
Mhm.
You know, obviously there's like a huge female empowerment movement going on. A lot of parents, which honestly, it's their fault. They went and they were like, this wasn't child friendly. Like my child, I didn't pay tickets for this. And I was like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Did you not
Did
listen
you not
to the
stream
album?
the album? What did you think?
Exactly. And so then when parents were upset by that, I was like, now that's not fair.
Yeah.
She's a grown woman. She's doing grown woman things. She's allowed to do that. And
Yeah.
you're allowed to not buy the tickets.
Yeah.
So I
for
was
sure.
I was on her side for that. I was like, girl,
For sure.
get it.
I feel like if more of the album had been like Bedchem,
Bedchem was so
Bedchem
freaking
is
good.
really good. I feel like it does keep that same tongue-in-cheek sexualness that she had in the previous album.
Mhm.
You
I'm gonna
know,
pull up the set
like the
list.
camaraderie stuff that she was talking about. I think that was really good. And then there were a lot of songs that felt kind of like they missed the mark, in my opinion.
Yeah, I pulled up the track list right now. I really liked Bedchem. I liked Good Graces. You didn't like Good
That's the
Graces.
southern sounding one.
There's a lot of, okay, and that was another thing. I didn't think it was gonna be all southern. Not all southern. There was some southern influence and twang,
Yeah, there's some
country
twang.
reference. This was also, I think, the first album that she did that wasn't with her prior management. So she had a lot more creative freedom from, I'll give her props where it's due. Her marketing team did a phenomenal job. Like the
Yeah.
branding, that like everything went well. Whenever there was a train for her to hop on to like, okay, we need to actually like go in this route. The audience is paying attention to this. They would go down that route. They had a collaboration with an ice cream company to put out an espresso flavor with her face on it. I didn't know that until I watched that video. Like she actually went so many steps beyond the album,
Really?
which I do think deserves massive amounts of respect. Like her team being able to pivot and jump quickly on those trends.
Yeah.
I
will
just the songs itself, I feel like I didn't connect with.
I will say it does feel almost cheating in a sense. I mean, again, kudos to the team. They did a fantastic job. But where would she be without that team? It'd be really interesting to see someone of that talent and caliber with those songs, but more on like the unknown, either the unknown scene where they don't have access to teams like that, or someone who is known but who maintains creative control completely and doesn't allow other people to take over.
To be fair, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, Sabrina Carpenter is like an overnight success. She put out like 6 albums before that. She's been in the industry over a decade. And so she's been
Yeah.
putting in her time. And
Oh, for sure.
I think the last album is where she got her momentum. She was the opener for Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman tour. I didn't know that. So I think that it's been a long road for her to kind of claw her way and get out of the Disney child stardom space. I think that's what a lot of people knew her for. I can't remember what show she was on, but I think she had to really claw away from that image, which may explain in part why Short and Sweet is such a departure from maybe some of the other past work she's done, because the past work she's done has been tied to other management, and she probably could not be as creatively expressive in the way she wanted to. So maybe that's why this new album felt a bit jarring to me.
Mhm. I had an interesting thought about that.
Mhm.
Maybe restricting her in that sense was actually a good thing,
Mhm.
and that sounds weird to say, but
Okay.
and she probably liked it.
Oh, stop.
But when you have like restrictions or constraints, you have to figure out solutions around those, right?
Mhm.
And so maybe she came up with those really clever, really fun solutions around those, like
Like
nonsense,
innuendos.
like nonsense, right? Where she had those She changed up the clothing all the time. Maybe that stemmed from the lack of freedom given to her from her management at the time. And now that she has total freedom, she doesn't feel like she has to be as clever because she can just do what she wants.
Yeah.
Potentially.
That's a good point. And also, as we're talking about this more, I feel like I have more respect for her as just a person and an artist, but it is just the album that I didn't identify with as much. I think that there's some really good tracks on there,
Yeah.
obviously Espresso, but there's other ones that I'm just like, as an entire album, this is not super cohesive to me. I will say she is like our age or thereabouts, and she's actually like, I don't know, on the internet. Like we dabble in the internet every now and then. I feel like we'll have like meme nights where I'll show you what I've been saving on Instagram. But we are not like, you're on Snapchat more than I am.
Well, I don't have Snapchat anymore.
Okay, so you deleted it. So, and I'm not on TikTok. Like, I feel like she is very much in the social media landscape and using it to her advantage, which is great. Like, I think that's awesome for her to get her props. She is also speaking to maybe what a lot of people are going through that like we just don't maybe have privy and access to. There's one song on there. There was Dumb and Poetic but Lie to Girls, which is essentially like, guys, you don't have to do anything. Like if you're not the right one, we'll kind of lie to ourselves and be like, okay, but this
Was this a song that came out later? I don't remember Light of Girls.
No, it was on her first. It wasn't on the deluxe album. It was on the original album.
Can you give me a little?
Yeah, I'll play it,
rendition?
and then I'll just pause the podcast.
I see why I didn't remember that, because it's not memorable.
Okay, what I'm saying is that she's speaking to experiences of a lot of like women these days who maybe are single and like looking for someone, and that's how they feel. And we got married at such a young age that I feel like maybe we don't really.
And I treat you so well that you would never feel that way.
Okay, well, listen, No, you're perfect and you have no flaws.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. No, what I'm just saying is that our experience with relationships was different than majority of our friend group, except for maybe one couple.
Yeah.
And so I feel like maybe that's also point album. We can't identify with it as much, so we're just like, oh, maybe it's not as good.
I mean, definitely being able to relate to your medium of entertainment is important. Otherwise, if there's no like emotional connection in anything that you have, whether that's like sympathy or empathy, then it doesn't come across.
Yeah.
And I do feel that way with a lot of love songs, because I feel like a lot of love songs are just like, there's so much like in the first 2 months of love. You know, there's like a lot of passion. There's a lot of, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
So many big emotions.
I love being around you type stuff, which is true. I do love being around you, but it's all like kind of middle school, kind of butterflies in the stomach that you only see. Puppy love. It's such a beta waves.
Beta waves.
But puppy love. And I feel like most songs about love are that way. And so I just like try to listen to things that I relate to, which is all about rap, like gang gang.
Yeah, because you are that guy. No, you're not. All that to say is that for her upcoming album, which is happening really soon, considering she just put out her last one, she went on tour. I don't even know if she's done with her tour or if she just wrapped up her tour, but she's publishing this album on August 29th.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like she got a lot going on.
No, it is kind of insane.
I'm honestly though, I am excited. I will be pre-saving that album on Spotify. For short and sweet, my expectations were just different. Maybe they weren't too high. They were just different than what the album turned out to be.
Yeah.
I am excited about Man's Best Friend.
All right. Let's talk about the cover art for Man's Best Friend then.
That was so not what I was expecting. It was funny. I got that cover art. Someone sent it to me over text. It was my work gal pal. She sent it to me and another girl. She said, "This is not a drill." And she took a screenshot of the album cover art, which I think is so funny. And my other friend said, "Daggum, how has she even had time for another album? Pumped." Texans are so funny. We might have to do a whole episode of just Texans and their phrases.
Like dadgum.
Daggum. But I saw the cover art. For those who don't know what we're talking about, you should probably just go and look it up.
Yeah.
Essentially, there's a man, don't know who he is. He is holding up her hair a little bit, and she's staring at the camera, and she is kind of like a dog.
She's on her hands and knees, right?
It's what's the word to describe it? It evokes emotion
It's
immediately.
attention grabbing. I think it's a little weird because I think like you said, it's like promiscuous. I feel like the only promiscuous part about it is the fact that he's holding her hair like a leash. If she had chosen to go for the leash instead of the hair, I don't think it would have been very promiscuous. And I only say that because it's almost like too much like look at me, you know? Like she's looking at the camera and smiling, and it's not like she's looking up at the man with any sort of emotion or lust. I think that it's more that she wants attention in it more than it is like sexual in nature.
More than the situation.
Yeah, because it's almost like, oh, look how sexual this cover is. Aren't I cool?
Oh, okay. I see
It
what
feels
you're
like that to me.
saying. Okay. It seems it doesn't would it be fair to say it seems like it's more for views than it is for
Yes.
artistry?
Yes, that's how I feel about it. I haven't heard any of the music. Man, child, I have not heard a lick, as the Texans would say.
The album cover, maybe she did that for the parents who were like, how was I supposed to know Short and Sweet wasn't for kids? Maybe this time she was like, fine then, this ain't for kids. I'm interested and intrigued by the direction she's going in. I will also say that, she went through a breakup on her last tour.
She did with what's his name?
Yeah,
From
Irish
Please,
guy.
Please, Please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they broke up. And maybe there was some cheating on his part that happened. We don't know. Unconfirmed. I feel like it fueled her creative process.
Yeah.
It was like the gasoline to an already burning flame.
Maybe.
Moving on, I wanted to ask you a question. I have answers to these already because,
Since you formulated the question.
well, since I never stopped talking. But what other artists' music are you wanting to see come out soon?
Oh my goodness. I have been waiting for my favorite rapper, NF,
NF.
to drop new music. It's torture. I wake up every day
No.
in pain,
No, you don't.
wailing, why? Which is a song by NF.
Oh.
Like there's definitely artists that I'm like, man, that has to come out as soon as possible. And NF is the one currently. He released Hope back when we weren't living in Texas. Oh my goodness. Isn't that crazy? 2 years ago he released that song, that album.
Oh, but we went to the concert we were.
Yeah, we went to the concert when he went to Oklahoma. So 2 years ago, and I'm just waiting forever. He has some like, I guess, demo leaks for
Oh,
songs.
I've seen some of that on social.
Yeah, and I think I tried showing you one of them. I think it's called I Need a Reason or something like that. I don't think it has an official title.
Mhm.
I think that's what fans started calling it.
Mhm.
The snippet is pretty cool, pretty awesome. And I wish that it came out already because I would love it.
I know you love him so much, and you've been listening to him since. Who was his first EP?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
It was definitely high school.
So I started listening to him when he came out with Therapy Session,
Mm-hmm.
which was when I was in high school. Before that, he came out with Mansion. I listened to that album after I listened to Therapy Session, and it was also really good. So I started listening to him on the regular, or on the reg.
That's
And
not what the kids say.
the kids say on the reg.
You don't know what the kids are
Verifiable.
saying. Sure.
But so I started listening to that. He came out with other albums after that, like Perception. He released like an album every year for 4 or 5 years straight.
Which is insane.
It is insane if you think about it, because I mean,
Most artists
of-
takes 2 to 3 years, if not more.
yeah, and if you're big enough, then you're touring at the same time, so it just becomes quite the challenge. I think that most of his songs are really, really fantastic. I really like him. When I first heard Hope, I was a little let down, and then I started listening to it more, and I actually really like it now. I think it's fantastic as well, but I need more.
You need more. And I think also that feeling is more so amplified by the fact that when we went to his concert, it was
so good.
so good. And for those who've never heard of NF or don't know NF, he is just, what's the word? He cares about every single aspect of the process. It
Yeah.
seems like. And like when I love an artist who starts on time. He started right when he said he would. Like they were like, I think it was 7 or 8, started right on the dot. no opener.
Yeah.
He literally went balls to the wall, straight into it.
Hmm.
I was a big fan.
Yeah.
And he is very minimal as well. Like he's
Mm.
not about, I guess what you could call pomp and circumstance. He's not trying to
Yeah.
make it so grand that he has maybe deeper concepts and lore to his music. If you follow
Yeah.
along, there's like a balloon and a shopping cart, whatever.
Yeah.
He has a lot of things that represent, I don't know, dark feelings or
Mhm.
heavy emotions, and he
Oh, yeah.
speaks to that.
That's why I really liked 21 Pilots, because it's a very intentional journey through their music, and most of their music has that type of like deeper thought, kind of give it more meaning than just a pop hit.
Well, I feel like there's performers and there's artists, and 21 Pilots hit both like the
Mm.
nail on the head for that one.
Yeah.
Like performers, I don't know. You have people that their concerts are just amazingly like wild, like out there, but then artists are like the actual music itself, they're
Mm.
deeply embedded in the process.
Yeah.
And some people like are both, some people are one, to each their own.
Mm.
But going to CNF, I would say he's more on the artistry side.
Yes. 100%.
And it was dramatic. It was, it felt
Yeah.
like a moment.
Oh, for sure. It didn't feel like when I told people I went to a concert, they're like, "Oh, that's fun," and it's like, yeah, it was fun, but I had fun because I connected so much with the music itself. And then we get there, and NF's like, "Yo, I had a really rough childhood.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it." I mean, he literally has a song called "Mama," which is talking to his mom in heaven after he's grown up and experienced life without her due to her, addiction to drugs and stuff. So
Mhm.
it's
It's heavy.
heady stuff. But when you say, "Hey, do you want to go see a concert?" That
It
at
automatically defaults
yeah,
to fun.
it
Yeah.
defaults to fun. But my favorite concerts are not the defaulted to fun concerts. My concerts are like the deeper meaning concerts.
I would also say your default to concert is no concert.
True, because they're expensive.
I've been the only one to bring you to concerts. It seems I brought you to.
Well, I went to that like EDM
okay, your
thing
friends brought you to that.
with Zach and Tanner.
People bring you to concerts.
Yeah.
But I brought you to NF,
Mhm.
21 Pilots, Mariah Carey. That was
You're
fun.
forgetting Ive.
No, I was leaving that for last.
Oh,
Your first concert
my
ever,
first concert ever.
at the ripe age of 25, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Was a Korean girl group that I adore. And I
will
still wrote
say
this.
that felt more intentional with like theme and everything like that than Mariah Carey's, right?
Oh yeah, no, she just on tour for the money these days.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I've only seen like 5 concerts. It felt more intentional than Shakira's concert. Not by much, but slightly more.
To be fair, we don't speak Spanish. We don't know what she's saying.
How dare you?
You don't speak Spanish.
Hola, hola, hola.
So
That's Spanish.
you don't know anything else though.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Okay, I can't with you.
Así, así, me too.
And me too. That was just English with a little accent.
Well, así, así means like, all right,
Yeah. But then you said me too.
me too.
And that sounds a little French now, so your accent's changing. It's fun. So, other artist music you want to see, NF, top of the list.
And for sure.
Mine,
Yes, please tell me.
who already put out music, like just recently, so nothing is happening here. Ariana Grande.
I knew that was the first one.
Fine.
100%.
Fine.
As soon as you asked
Whatever.
the question and I gave my response and you're like, all right, your top one, I was like, she's gonna say Ariana Grande for her.
Sue me.
I already know.
Sue me.
She's gonna be like, I
What
need
about
the
it?
Grande. I need the
I
Grande.
liked Eternal Sunshine. I loved it, some would say. I am a big...
Eternal Sunshine is a really good song.
The album is good.
I mean, she has that one song on the album that feels a little pointed, I will say.
It's about her divorce, man.
Yeah, but there's that one song.
Oh, I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah. That one seems a little pointed.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I know exactly which line you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also put out a deluxe edition. God bless it.
What is with artists, particularly female artists, who are calling out like sexual acts? Because I think Sabrina Carpenter in her album also has that exact same
To be
mentality
fair,
of one of them, where she's like, like, oh, I bet you taste me when he kisses you or something like that.
Yeah, okay, but to be fair, I feel like men be putting out all these albums, rap especially, and they get no criticism for it.
True, I don't
It's
listen to
just
that stuff.
it's just like he a player. So yeah, you don't really listen to that.
Yeah, so
You
I'm not
listen to
surrounded by
like
that.
Christian rap, which
Yeah.
I guess NF is kind of, but not really.
I mean, I don't think that he considers himself Christian rap.
No.
I think that he considers himself a rapper who is Christian.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's also, I think there's some bias in there. I think that,
Because I'm a man.
is this misandry? Whatever, dude.
Just kidding. No, I mean, it is an uneducated opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. So Ariana Grande, I want more music from her. I don't necessarily, okay, I'll rephrase. I don't necessarily want more music from her. I want a tour. I want the Eternal Sunshine tour. But what I think is actually going to happen is she's going to wait a little bit because she just released, there was Wicked Part 1, and then there's going to be Wicked Part 2, which I, for one,
Seconds.
don't see the need to split it into 2 parts. That is a waste of my brain space.
Well, financially speaking, it's worth a lot of money.
Yes. But also I didn't like it. It doesn't matter. I might.
How you liked it?
It was fine. It wasn't nothing to write home about. I will probably go see it. I'm undecided. You know me in sequels and like just series. I might dip out. What I do think though is that she would probably be amazing to see on tour. I think her production, the stage setup, the lighting, the dancing, just all that is encompassed in her tour, I feel like would be phenomenal. And she's got a great voice. Just amazing. I think that's why I really, really like her. She just has a voice that like people can't really even copy. You know how there's the maybe karaoke, the people that celebrities do, even that they're copying other people's voices.
Yeah.
I think people can't copy her voice because
She has like
she's such a high range.
Are they called like whisper tones or something like that?
Whistle tones.
Whistle tones.
Yeah. So I think very few people can actually sing like her. Is she problematic? Sure. In some instances. Is the timeline murky of when some relationships start and end? Sure. I'll be purchasing tickets. I'll be purchasing tickets. That's where my moral boundaries.
I mean, how do you not, right?
I mean, I guess I could just not, but I'm not going to. I will be seeing her when she goes on tour. The other artist I've been really liking is Doechii.
Doechii is fun.
Doechii's fun. Doechii's cool. Kendrick Lamar gave her a shout out.
Yeah.
And he's cool.
Kendrick is cool.
So K-Dot. I like Doechii right now. She just released music, so I don't think she's going to release more. She's going to be at a festival in Austin on the weekend of my birthday, so I haven't decided if I want to maybe do a little trip down there and go see her. I don't know if I like her that much to drive. I have a 20-minute radius to go to things.
Yes.
Right? I have some friends. If they move, I sometimes don't see them for months because I'm like, I'm not driving to see you. I'm so sorry.
You're like, it's 21 minutes, and that's more than I have.
Facts, though. I can't be bothered. I can do things within 20 minutes that would feel the same joy. Those are the artists that I want to see more of, or just that I'm really jamming out to. Also, Benson Boone.
Yeah.
An album.
That's the guy that did the backflip, right?
Yeah.
At the Grammys or whatever.
Or, yeah, I think so.
The Oscars.
He backflips.
One award show.
He backflips a lot of places. Actually, I think his album's coming out tomorrow.
Is it called Backflips?
No, it's called American Heart. Yeah, American Heart. Comes out in one day, 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 40.
Jeez Louise, you keep so on top of music.
It's on here.
I really do not, even Spotify gives a released radar every Friday.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that every Friday, but none of my favorite artists released music. So it would just be like music, like adjacent music. So I'd get gems every once in a while, but it'd be like out of the 25 songs they give you, one of them would be good for me. Like some of them would be like just way out there. I'm like, I don't listen to this. I don't know why I'm saying that I should have this one song from this really underground rapper guy.
Yeah. But hey, they got to get their name out there somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other? You said you said you don't really keep up with artists. NF is really the only man on your mind.
He is. He's always on my mind. Always.
24/7.
24/7. Doesn't matter where I am. Work, he's on my mind.
Home.
Pickleball, he's on my mind. In the shower, on my mind.
Okay. Well,
maybe not that far.
Maybe not in the shower. Bradley, my husband, my loving spouse, thank you so much for coming on the Mind Your Biscuits podcast. I hope you had a
Yay.
grand old time. And I definitely want you back. This might be a recurring segment because pop culture is always ongoing.
Oh, of course.
And there's more than just music that we could
Yeah, I
talk
was gonna say
about.
next time, like maybe we could do a reoccurring podcast filler thing between other guests that you have, and it would be a different segment. Like we could have talked about TV shows, you know, given our love for things like Ted Lasso or Severance, or like movies. I'm a big fan of movies, and also video games, that kind of jazz. Recently, we went to a comic store, so we could have done comics.
Oh,
Since you're
yeah.
a
Jeff
comic
the
fiend.
Lamb Shark.
Yeah.
I'm his #1 fan now.
Yep. You're now a comic book nerd.
Yeah. Confirmed. And also, thank you for corralling the boys at times because
Is
Lewis
this
and Max just are everywhere.
is this their first appearance on the pod as well?
It's their first pod appearance. Oh my god.
Hi. That's Max. Here, maybe.
Yeah, we can move them closer, like a little family photo op. But now Lewis doesn't want me near the camera. But yeah. I don't know how to end these usually, but I usually just say we press on.
Do I get a special sign off?
Yeah.
Like, does your guests get it?
What do you want to do? It can just be Max Pantene. He's been huffing and puffing this whole episode. Okay. Close enough.